Have you ever just sat there and had the urge for chocolate, for a brownie, for anything? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make the perfect brownie. And I brought Ghirardelli's double chocolate mix to show you how to do it. I'm here to make sure that we get through this step by step. Step number 1, preheat the oven. And now that you preheated it, it's time for step number 2. Make the brownie mix. Ghirardelli chocolate. First step, let's tear this box apart. First, we open up the box and take out the super chocolatey mix. That's just my preference. You don't have to get super chocolatey, but if you do, then it's Chestnut approved. Next, you're going to want to dump everything into a bowl. You do it however you like. I'm kind of a manly man and I do it myself. That would have been real cool if everything just spilled everywhere. You can just dump it into your bowl. Don't eat it though. My mom always told me not to eat the powder. But then again, I never listened to my mom. But I strongly advise that you don't eat your cookie dough mix. This Ghirardelli chocolate mix is delicious. I've never seen more powdery but chocolatey mix in my entire life. This was definitely a good choice. I was in Target and I ended up seeing my good friend Araceli Pinzon, and she was giving me advice on how to make the perfect brownie. And she told me that, I asked her what was the chocolatiest brownie, the most chocolatey I guess you would say. I don't know how you would put that in correct terms, but she told me to use Ghirardelli double chocolate. And I think she got the right choice. What she also told me is that here, the first ingredient is 1 egg. She told me to make the perfect brownie, I need 2. So here, I have 2 eggs. Thank you, Araceli Pinzon, and I'm going to put them in. Usually the best tool to use when making brownie mix is a whisk, but right now all I have is a spoon, and that'll do just fine. You'll see in my video I make a lot of makeshift decisions on my part, but either way, as long as you get the best result at the end, that's all that matters. So I just put my eggs in, and I'm kind of battering them around a little bit, just to put them in the dough, get the dough a little eggy, a little doughy, a little gooey. And this is actually a good thing to do before you put all your other ingredients in, because the egg is the most important part of your whole brownie mix. So now that we have the egg nice and beaten in, I'm going to go ahead and put in some oil. Next, to make sure that we made the perfect brownies today, I picked up some Crisco pure canola oil. The recipe calls for vegetable oil. I think it's the same thing, so it'll do. Calls for 1/3 vegetable oil. So I'm mixing the ingredients, making sure that everything gets in there real good. I don't want to beat it in there, go real hard. That's why I don't like the whisk when I'm making brownie mix, because brownie mix is too thick. So the whisk is just too much trouble. So the spoon or fork, anything that kind of gets you deep up in the mix is what you really want. So next is 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to get that right now. I got the water and I'm going to pour it in. 1/4 cup. So then you want to mix it in and make sure that this brownie mix turns out great. Make sure that you get the consistency to about thick but still runny. And once you get it to all the way mixed in, every bit of this is mixed in, your eggs, your vegetable oil, and your water, you want to go ahead and put it in your dish. This recipe calls for a 9x9 dish. Unfortunately, I don't have a 9x9 dish, but I used a little ingenuity and made a tin foil blocking. This is about 9x9, and we're gonna make do and make some. We're gonna see what happens. This will be a first for Chris Chestnut. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour all of my mix into my brownie pan. Ooh. It's really a great feeling when you get all of your brownie into your brownie mix. I mean, all of your brownie mix. See, my words are just getting confused. I'm confused. I love chocolate. And these are gonna be some great brownies. Our oven's almost, I think it is preheated already, so once I get this in, we're gonna stick the baby in the bun, I guess you would say. I don't know what you would say. I'm really nervous. So we have the mix prepared, everything's in the tray, and we're about to put it in the oven. Let's get to it. You actually want to make sure that it lands on the middle rack because it will get the best heat. Now our job is to make sure that we put our brownies in for the right time. And this calls for an 8x8. I said it was 9, but we'll just say it's an 8x8. We're gonna go in for 45 minutes. So 45 minutes later, we'll have a perfect brownie pan. Now with everything done, we have 45 minutes to wait. You have 45 minutes. What are you gonna do? You can go outside and enjoy the day. You can play Nintendo. I'm outside. You can go in the pool. Or you could do all of that. A good idea to do while you're waiting around is to wash up your dishes instead of wasting time doing nothing. Now that our brownies are almost done, it's our duty to make sure that they're okay. As you get closer, you smell how delicious your brownies are getting. Ooh, a hot hit in the face of brownies. Making sure that our brownies are cooking at the correct temperature and that they're going at the correct pace helps us ensure that our brownies are perfect. A good trick that I always like to use is the knife test. We stick the knife in the brownie and we see if it's wet or if it's just right. When you're going into the oven, you always want to make sure you have a protective glove because the last thing you want is either a lawsuit or a burnt hand. So we're going to go up in here, take it out, watch your face, take it out, and we're going to do the brownie knife test. Ooh, it actually came out pretty well. Wow. I don't know, it might be kind of done. I think I might like it the way it is. So you kind of decide on your own how you want your brownie to be. And me, as a nice gushy chocolate brownie connoisseur, I'm gonna let it off early. 14 minutes early to be exact. But I might have put it in a little bit too much. So I think it'll be alright. Always want to make sure that you put your plate in a safe place. You want to make sure that no little kids or animals can get hurt by the heat of your plate. As a general safety, you want to make sure that you let your brownies cool. And while they're cooling, you want to make sure that you turn the heat off of your oven. When you're done with your oven, it always needs to be off. I like to give my brownies about a 5-minute cool-off period. So in those 5 minutes, we're going to let them shape, form, and after that, we'll cut them up and eat them. So now that the brownies are ready, we're gonna cut them up. First, we're gonna tear off my makeshift wall. Ooh, and look at the nice cakey inside. I think we made a good brownie. Ooh. And next, what we're gonna do is take off the layer on this side. And it'll come right out. And that's why we use tin foil. Next, we're gonna take it out. We're gonna open this up and we're gonna switch it on to a plate. This is live action brownie flipping. Opening up a pantry and taking out a plate that I made in preschool. That's real cool. That's my little hand in preschool. We are going to flip the cake. Ooh, right on there. Oh, get a close up. Get a close up. We need a close up of this brownie right now. Ooh, chocolate chips. Look at those gooey chocolate chips. Get up in there. Get up in there. Oh my goodness. This cake is so delicious. Ooh, just squish. Oh, what? Just squishing it. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Made a delicious Ghirardelli chocolate cake. Double chocolate. We should have made it quadruple chocolate. Next, we look at all the chocolate chips that are left on our foil, and we make sure they don't go to waste. See, every single one of these need to be eaten up. We need to make sure that nothing is taken for granted. The foil tastes so good. Now that our brownie is complete, I'm going to go ahead and slice into it. So I have my dad here with me. He's our local guinea pig, and he wants to test out how delicious these brownies are. I'm gonna give you a middle piece.
A middle piece, okay. Let's see here. Take a little bite.
What do you think? Honest opinion.
Honest opinion. Very tasty, but it's a little dry. So maybe you cooked it just a tad too long.
Too high of temperature.
Maybe.
And that's what happens, kids, when you don't pay attention and you're making videos on how to make a brownie.
Cheers, Chris.
Right.
Pretty good. The end pieces are better than the middle.